Hi, this is Clarissa Shepherd, aka the Pilates Mommy, and I am here in my studio called Pilates Mommy LLC, right? And today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit on how to stay ahead if we have a recession as a small business owner and as a Pilates studio or fitness studio owner. So here we go. I have about 4 or 5 tips in which I am currently implementing and will be implementing in the event that we go into a recession. The first one is I make sure that I prioritize my cash flow. What does that simply mean? It means that I am using systems like QuickBooks and other accounting or bookkeeping systems to make sure that I know what's coming in and what's going out. I typically check that once a week just so I can always maybe pull back or add to make sure that the money that I am spending is going to where I want it to go. And I also want to make sure that I have certain cash on hand in the event that I need to maybe add something or fix something or something along those natures. So if you're not using QuickBooks, there's multiple other bookkeeping systems. I also have something in my website that I use called Arketa, which is great. It covers all the majority of my needs, with the exception of that extra bookkeeping, so that's why I ended up adding that on. But Arketa is a great place to start, especially if you're a fitness studio owner. You can do demos, and I pay around $99 a month, and that's only because they did my website and all these different things, and I'll make sure that I include that link in the description once you guys hop off. Second, I make sure that I negotiate either my pay when I decide to either sub or work for another studio, and I made sure to negotiate the space that I'm in because I got this space at a rate that was not listed, which means I got it for less than what it was listed. I made sure that I talked to the owner, I negotiated, maybe you sign a longer lease than maybe you originally hoped, whatever that looks like for you and whatever you can afford. But I was able to negotiate this at a rate that I felt comfortable paying and that the owner felt comfortable giving to me. So I say that to say, do not be afraid to negotiate, what you feel like you're worth. Same rules apply if you are working as a Pilates instructor. Say you've been at a certain place for a while or a year or so. Every year, I usually renegotiate my pay because that, number one, shows that I've been loyal to the company, especially if I don't have any marks or anything like that on my, during my tenure. And I also, highlight all of the great things that I've tried to do to make the studio great. So every year, I would advise, because that's what they do in corporate America, so there's no reason why you shouldn't as well. Again, it's going to be case by case, so definitely make sure that you talk to the owner per se, but there's no reason why you can't negotiate maybe a certain type of raise or a certain type of stipend, bonus, whatever that looks like for you. So make sure that you do that, especially if we end up going to a recession. I say that because it's better to be locked in now than wait when people are trying to penny pinch, right? Number 3, diversify your income. That simply means create and make products that are tangible that people can grab and hold on to without you physically being there. In the fitness industry, a lot of times we rely on, just having people come to our studio, or maybe we make a recording of a video here and there, and then we might share it for a little bit and then we just disappear. You have to make sure, in order to diversify your income in making products, you have to be consistent in doing that. So for example, I have products like my manuals that I make for pre and postnatal, my kids manual, as well as, and I'll show you one of them, my Reformer Pilates for youth athletes, because I do see a lot of younger athletes as well. I also make cartoons and I make children's books. So it's a way for me to give myself to others without physically being there. And in the fitness industry, where people only have 0.2 of a second for an attention span, you have to make sure that you find ways to hit them at all different points, whether it be with kids, whether it be, with seniors, adults, find a way to target your avatar. So and I'm talking to people who already know who the avatar is. Find a way to hit your avatar in multiple ways. And that definitely includes digital products or tangible products, either or, just something that they can feel like they have you without you having to physically be there. Part 4, work smarter, not harder. You have to be efficient. Make sure that you set times and dates to execute. For example, I knew that today I wanted to record this to make sure that I can give you guys something to see on YouTube that is tangible, and it's like you and I are just having a regular conversation. And that could be either right now at this moment, or it could be at 10 o'clock at night. Either way, you and I are having this conversation. And I say that because you have to make sure that you set a schedule and you stick and you abide by it the best way that you possibly can. Of course, you got to be resilient. Things happen, but at least 80% of the time, make sure that you are creating smart goals, and being timely is definitely one of them. My number one goal there, for certain. Last but certainly not least, you want to make sure that you are innovative and you're staying resilient in this industry. What does that mean? Well, being innovative simply means that you are up to date on what's going on in the fitness world, or for example, making digital products. Or maybe there's a new technology that came out, or maybe there's a new software program that might help you streamline and make things so much easier so you can work smarter, not harder, right? That all ties in. So I advise you to either start looking at either what's coming down the pipeline for 2025, what are different trends, the weather's getting ready to change here in Northern Virginia, and we're entering spring at the current moment. So maybe you start thinking, okay, maybe I take some of my stuff outside. It's cheaper. There's not really much of an overhead cost. Start thinking about things like that. Also, stay resilient. If we go into a recession, right, then we have to make sure that we find ways to leverage and create the need and the necessity for what it is that we're currently selling. Because when we hit a recession, people start penny pinching and they only buy what they need. So how do you stay dynamic in a way where people still feel like they need you? Okay? So ask yourself, okay, what am I offering to my clients that they can't get anywhere else? Whether it be the way that you teach, whether it be, your personality, whether it be certain products or things, how can you create a space and an environment where they feel like they cannot go without you? That's going to be your key to being resilient. You also want to make sure that you market yourself in a way that is personal and relatable to your particular avatar. Because if you do that, then they'll definitely feel like they need you, whether it be in person, online, or through a digital product. Hopefully those tips helped, and I can't wait to chat with you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.